On a bird-like creature, should we have the neck sculpted straight out even if we want it curved like a vulture in the final image? Yes, and actually before, we're going to jump into reach topology before you know it, first of all. And when we do, and I'm going to pause sculpting here for a little bit just to chat with you guys, when, because I think that's an important question. You know, because at what point do you put everything into a neutral stage, and what does a neutral stage mean for a creature like this? Is it okay to have the joints bent because it's sort of like the default placement? Depends on what rigger and what animator you're talking to, and what you're, you know, what's expected of that model. But I'd say for something like this, no, it's not okay. You do want to have it straightened out, and you do want it in a neutral pose, and we're going to put the neutral pose on a layer next Wednesday. All right, so we're going to sculpt on this some more. We're going to get sort of like our neutral stance, which is what I'm really sculpting right now, is a neutral stance, but then we need a completely neutral pose for rigging. Right, so that means the wings need to be fully extended, all the limbs need to be fully extended, and then we also need them placed in like halfway in their range, right, when looking at it this way. So you're probably looking at the legs coming out here in an A pose as opposed to coming out to the sides here, right? I don't imagine this guy falling flat on his chest. Right, so I don't think his arms would be able to stretch out like that. They would fold underneath him, right, but they wouldn't stretch out. But you should think about that and how you're going to accomplish your pose. And I think Ryan is asking us to put Hangout tabs on the courses, and you guys can launch Hangouts and work together, and I can jump in and take a look at what you guys have and all that stuff, and we can do a Google Hangout, and maybe I can help you sort through some of those things. So maybe I'll look next week at doing a Google Hangout for us. It should be fine. There's 11 people in class, about 7 people regularly in here. So if you guys are down, I'm down. You know, I'll do my lecture for you guys, but I'll take a look at what you have too. And maybe that's something for Monday. We'll do the Hangout. Any other questions? Manuel, Ash, Justin, Marcos. Give you guys a second. You guys are good? Can you do a griffin? Of course you. No, you can't do a griffin. I'm doing a griffin. No, and that's absolutely fine. Of course. But, you know, you're going to miss out on all that problem solving because I'll be providing some solutions for you, possibly. You could do something completely unique. We can have a griffin off. So yeah, I mean, this is really it, you guys. I'm just going to continue sculpting right now, and I'll be looking for your questions. Now I'm starting to look around. I need to nudge some things around. Do you have any advice regarding using size of body parts to determine scale? You know, honestly, there's plenty of people out there that have like Loomis type, you know, Andrew Loomis type formulas. Honestly, I look at just aesthetic. You know, if I look at a mood, right? So I think about what a small head implies. A small head could imply, depending on the slope of the forehead and the slope of the back of the head, a small head could imply that the creature's very large, right, or that it's very dumb. But honestly, it's an aesthetic thing for me. I don't really use a lot of ratios. I think maybe when I'm doing people, I use a lot of ratios. You know, I'd be like, okay, this person should be 7.5 heads high, right? The width of the head should be 75% of the height of the head. You know, the corners of the mouth shouldn't extend past the center of the eyes, or you end up with Steven Tyler. I mean, there are a lot of rules like that, and I do have those more on with humans, but not so much with creatures. Monsters, yes, I will play, like when I do like and what I mean by monster is like a monster, not like a four-legged creature, septiped or something like that, but something that's that could talk. I could talk, like a human, like a regular human could talk, or like an orc. I'll use those guidelines. But when I hear rules, I like breaking them. I like playing with bending the rules. First you practice them and then you break them. So, cool, thanks for the info. I'll try a few different things. I keep changing the size of the legs on my Z-sphere block out, and hard to get the exact scale sometimes. Looks too small or too big. I guess it's just trial and error. Exaggerate them. Like go to bigger extremes. That's what I would recommend. If you're experimenting, go to bigger extremes and look at instead of just increasing the length or decreasing the length, look at scaling up that bottom sphere or scaling it down. So do the feet come down to a pinpoint, or do they come down to a large base? Do you have, what were they called? I'll pull this up really fast. Striders. Right? Are they striders? These are striders from the Dark Crystal. Actually, that's not a bad maquette. Are they striders or are they elephants? So think about it maybe in those terms, right? Look to nature for solutions, and look to other good designs. By the way, if you guys haven't seen the Dark Crystal, you absolutely should. It's a beautiful Froudian movie. If you guys like Brian Froud, Brian Froud also did Labyrinth and put out a bunch of really cool illustration books on trolls, goblins, fairies, all that stuff. But yeah, so I would look there.